You know, it's not often I'm surprised, but in today's video, I'm surprised in a very positive, but also sort of a bummer way. As you can see here, you're looking at two versions of the Abrams tank, a U.S. Army tank, probably one of the most famous tanks in the world right now, and probably one of the most unstoppable. And here are two Russian tanks. All four of these tanks I'm showing you here are modern armor. And this shocks me for one reason. Now, I don't keep up with World of Tanks much. I've never really have. It was always one of those games where I just hopped on, grinded for a little while, and took periodic breaks from. And I haven't really played it much since the last video I've posted. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm quite frankly shocked they've made that move to go more modern with their, tanks and stuff like that. As I hit that rock there like an absolute inbred. World of Tanks to me has always been a post-World War I to Korea era game in terms of the tanks that were in the tech tree at that time. I would even argue at some point even like early Vietnam, but who knows. But I was quite frankly shocked when I hopped on World of Tanks one day, and I maybe had seen a photo of this online somewhere. I'm like, oh, an Abrams tank. Wonder what that's about. Little did I know, like a couple of days later, when I would hop on the game to see what's going on about something, I see that there is an option to go Cold War. They've kind of split up the tanks now. It's like they're going Cold War, then World War II. And I was like, what the fuck is this about? I go on there, and I see fucking Abrams tanks and like T-72s or very modern T-series tanks from the Soviets or the Russians, and I'm like, holy fuck. I can't believe they've actually done it. Because I never would have expected that from a game like World of Tanks. I expected it through War Thunder, which I haven't played War Thunder in a really, really long time, but I know it exists in War Thunder because I've seen plenty of guys like Fly Daily post stuff like that. And I don't play the game enough to ever get to that point, but I was like, oh yeah, cool, Abrams tanks, I have the potential to do those. And now I'm actually like kind of seeing it, and it's like, especially in World of Tanks, which again was a game I never would have expected them to go down that route. And I was like, I'm actually like really pleasantly surprised. It's like another, I don't know if it was a response to like War Thunder, because I know War Thunder is pretty popular on PC. I'm not even sure if these tanks are even on PC. These modern era tanks are on World of Tanks. I don't follow what PC does all the time. I only really follow the console stuff. So this could have been in PC for a long ass time, and I would have never have known, because I just don't follow the PC scene in this game. But if that was the case, I would be shocked then too. I'm like, holy shit, they actually did it. Because again, every bit of marketing I've ever seen with World of Tanks has always been like World War II era tanks. That's where that's where vehicular warfare was at its peak, maybe, for a lot of historians like me out there. But yeah, it was a nice little surprise. Now, I mentioned early on in the video where it's like it's kind of a bummer. Well, I'll tell you why it's a bummer. I don't play World of Tanks as much. I don't. It's one of those games where it's like I've kind of phased it out, where it's like it was fun for a couple of years, but they've done some changes to it that I just don't really appreciate, and I've talked about that in a previous video, which I'll probably link here somewhere in the description of the video or something, or later on in the outro. Well, like, I just wasn't a fan of the change they made, and I was really disappointed by that, and I was like, okay, I don't really like this. I don't know if I want to play this game as much anymore because of this change. And I may come back on periodically, but I'm like, I'm never going to play it enough to the point where these sorts of vehicles that are available to me now, I'm ever really going to achieve. Like, I've said before, and I'll say it again, I've already achieved really what I've wanted to achieve out of this game by getting the Tiger tank and the Panther. And maybe I wanted to get some other tanks too in tier 10, but there is really no tier 10 anymore, which is kind of crazy to say. Like this entire game has been like flipped over its head pretty much through these changes, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, how do you even what even is this game anymore? I don't know, but I mean, it's again a really nice change to see, a really nice implementation to see. Am I ever going to get to that point? Probably not, which is really unfortunate to say. But, you know what? It is what it is. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. Thank you for, let me know what you think about this down in the comment section for any of you guys that play this game on console. Was this a change that shocked you? Or I'm just really super confused because I haven't touched this game in such a long time. Anyway, have a good one. See you on the next one.